Welcome everyone to Wizards Outlook. It's the second night of a back-to-back. We got Raymond Lyons here, Cardell Dudley Jr., and Wilson Turbidge Jr. in the Washington Wizards. He'll serve with the Minnesota Timberwolves for a while tonight in fourth quarter. And Edwards went nuts to help the Wolves close out the Wizards 120 to 106. Cardell, you're in the building, so we'll start with you and then Ray. Uh, First, your thoughts on Washington kind of holding serve for a little bit, and then talk us through that separation in the fourth.
I mean, the Wizards had their chance. They were right there through three quarters, but like you said, Anthony Edwards. You see the difference between a superstar. One team has a superstar, and you have a team that's trying to find that. And you saw that in the fourth quarter, a winnable game for the Wizards, but you saw the superstar elevate his game to a level that no one on the Wizards is at this point is capable of doing. I don't really think people understand how high he got. In the second half, he scored 29 of his 41 points on 10 of 15 shooting from the field, 4 of 7 from deep, 5 of 5 from the line, had 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. In the fourth quarter alone, he had 20 points on 6 of 9 from the field, 3 of 5 from deep, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Most importantly, he only had 1 turnover, plus 16. Ball game. Big time players make big time plays. Big time players um, elevate to a level that no one else can on the floor. And with the team struggling up and down or whatnot, the Wolves trying to find a rhythm as a team. He just got aggressive, and he made play after play after play, and most of them were buckets. You know what I mean? He took full advantage of mismatches, the same mismatches, miscommunications, the same things that just been dooming the Wizards all season. And again, if you go against the top teams, I know the record doesn't speak that, but we know the Wolves gonna be there in the playoffs and then to mix it up. But and definitely one of the top players in the league, you gotta be on point. And you saw Shea do his thing last night. Uh, to me, him and Anthony Edwards are the top 2 shooting guards in the league. With SGA kind of having the edge because he's the front runner for MVP. And both times, I know the Thunder kind of jumped on him as a team, but you also saw Shea make sure they stayed out in front. For the most part, getting to the free throw line last night with Anthony Edwards tonight, he did it. He played team ball for the first 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter, all right, enough of this. Let's put this game away and move on to the next one. And that's what superstars are supposed to do. You know, teams that's reeling, that's trying to find their way, you take them out, you keep it going. You're on to the next, man. You got to tip your hat off to him. He put on a hell of a show. Another glaring thing, man. 53-34 rebound, Minnesota way. The Wizards had way too many athletic, versatile players to get out rebounded by 20. And that's just a lack of physicality. You see what I'm saying? And you saw it constantly when the Wizards would drive to the basket. Instead of going up to try to dunk on them, they got to the rim, they shot away, and then try to finish. Be all cute. It's all with coos. You continuously see it from Sarr. That's the next phase for his development. You got to be able to, you 7 feet, bang on them, play like it. Don't take the contact and go through him. You gotta get that. You gotta get that mentality. You gotta get the strength. You gotta get that in this game. And that's what you constantly saw. The only one that wasn't hesitant about taking it to the basket and trying to dunk on somebody and finish strong was Koulibaly. You know what I mean? So, but the physicality that getting out rebounded by basically 20, that's physicality. There's no excuse for the Wizards. Fine, it's one thing if they beat you on the boards, but you can't lose by 20. You're not going to win that, man. You just, it's just too hard to overcome. You're giving them so many extra opportunities to make plays, and you can't do that against a team, veteran-led team, and obviously a team with someone as dangerous as Anthony Edwards, man. So, hell of a show he put on tonight.
Right.
Yeah, the Wizards they kept themselves in it. They gave themselves a chance, but like Ariel pointed out, the fourth quarter, Anthony Edwards just turned up. Yeah, that rebounding disparity, that can't happen. And just to speak of the lopsided physicality between the teams. The Wolves got to the line 31 times. The Wizards only got there 15. The Wolves were attacking and being aggressive, and the Wizards were not. You know, you give a team 16 more free throw attempts in a 14-point game. I mean, they outscored them at the line 24-9. You gotta level that out somehow. You know, and the Wizards checked some boxes that they didn't last night. They took care of the ball much better. They moved the ball pretty well. They had 27 assists on 40 made shots, so they were in a little better rhythm offensively, and that's because they weren't giving the ball away and allowing Minnesota to get out on breaks and score easily. So like we say all the time, it's seldom they're able to put a complete game together. They check off some boxes and then just leave some areas unattended to, and I mean that's the nature of a rebuilding team. It's tough for them to put it all together. So you know, at least they put up a valiant effort. You know, it's no moral victories, but you at least want to see them compete and look competent for, you know, for stretches and for the majority of the game. It took heroics from Anthony Edwards to kind of put this one away, which you know, that's going to be what it's going to be, man. It's not many teams that have a player that can go toe to toe with him. So if he elevates like that, then it's going to take something miraculous on the Wizards side to you know, to counter that. But yeah, man, that was the difference in the game. The Timberwolves' physicality and aggression, and Anthony Edwards' superstar play.
Yeah, like you said, you one night you go from turning the ball over where it cost you. Next night you take care of the ball, but the glass. Is one thing if it was just, you know, the bigs are getting murdered. You look up and down Minnesota, you know, just look at the box score throughout the game as well. You can see it. Cardell, you were there. I'm sure it was something that could be felt watching to the impact that Minnesota had as a group hitting the glass. It wasn't just the bigs, wasn't just Rudy and Julius, you know. McDaniels, I think, had 8 of those. Cool, all right. But Mike Conley had 5. You know, Alexander Walker with 3. Dante had another 3. Like that adds up. So for Washington, Cardell, as you mentioned, for a team where you do have a size advantage in terms of like height on the wings at times, most nights, most often than not, you might not have it 4 and a 5 night to night basis, but you know, on the wings, typically it should be in your favor. That should be an area they should shore up. Like you said, you can get beat on the glass. You can't get washed on the glass like that against a good team. You just can't. So you're going to give a team like this second chance opportunities. You can't afford it. Not that Ant needed second chance opportunities, but just saying you can't afford that. And like you said, Bilal, shout out to Bilal for kind of being one of maybe the lone constant this year, routinely putting his head down and getting to the basket. Others need to kind of, you know, follow suit. They got some other guys in the same vein in terms of, you know, he talk about the athleticism and the versatility they bring to the table. Get downhill, y'all. Like, y'all don't have to settle for threes, nor is it something you are built to do. Especially against teams where if you're gonna settle and take a shot, and it's one shot every trip down, is that much different than a turnover? No. But if you guys had nothing else, I'm just gonna put it on the screen. Y'all already talked about it, you know. I feel like I need to say too much right there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, hey, man, as usual.
All right. On to one that, no, to a different one. The other nomination we have every night, X Factor.
Julius Randle. You know, I think you know, even though Ant-Man went on his rampage in the second half, I think Julius Randle, his physicality, you know, taking the ball to the basket himself, rebounding the ball, just being physical, just really putting his head down and attacking their front line, just punishing whoever's guarding them, specifically Cruz and Sarr. You know, I feel like he was the X factor because he you know, while Anthony Edwards was dancing on him on the perimeter, mixing it up, you know, Randle was the bull, just taking it to him, similar to like a a power back in the NFL to just wear your defense down, wear your defense down, wear your defense down. And then they throw the Hail Mary over the top, and that's basically what you saw him contributing.
Right.
Yeah, I go Randall just for, just him imposing his will. Talk about the aggressiveness. He got to the line 8 times as well as the 10 boards. So, I mean, he was definitely making his presence felt out there.
Yeah.
Also,
Go ahead.
We all know he's left-handed. For the life of me, I don't know why the Wizards just let him go left. Time and time again.
I mean, in the worst part, there were more straight line left hand drives than anything like that. That's the thing that was the most disheartening. It wasn't like, we know he got a little handle with him, but it wasn't like it was work. It was straight line to your strong hand.
Yeah, to me, he just wanted to finish with his right hand. He got to show me. He got to show he could dunk on me with his right hand. He can make runners and floaters. That's how it's gonna be. I'm sitting on that left, dog. He just continuously went left, nonstop. It was pretty bad.
Oh man! All right. Up next for Washington,
Mr. Durant.
they got Phoenix on Thursday.
Mr. Durant and go.
So we will check in with you guys then. For Cardell, Ray, and myself, y'all have a good evening.